Hello, fellow expats, global adventurers, and those looking to make a bold move for a better future. This is Joe Gilbert sharing insights from my base in the Philippines, more specifically, my adopted hometown here in Manila. After working 14 years as a surveillance operator and later as a consultant, I've retired and have now lived in Asia for almost 3 years. I hope this video will inspire you, lessen your doubts about making bold changes, and answer questions that are important to many of us as we forge ahead towards a new and exciting adventure and future. Whether you're embracing life abroad, balancing remote work, or just trying to fill your retirement days, you still need to take a break for a little R&R on occasion. Believe it or not, even people who retire in foreign paradise need a break. So answer this: when is the last time you actually stepped away to rest and recharge? I'm talking about a real vacation, a vacation free from emails, free from daily demands, and most importantly, filled with new experiences. Today we're going to explore why expats like us benefit from such breaks. We'll examine the evidence, explore personal experiences, and look at a few practical steps to get the ball rolling. Now, if this strikes a chord, stay with me as we dive into the science, the stories, and the strategies to integrate rest without compromising our pursuits. If you think information like this is of value, please like, subscribe, and share this video. And if you're not interested in watching the video all the way through, it's quite all right. You can go straight to the website, secondactwarriors.com. Link is in the description. You can read through the article very quickly, find links to all the resources we mention in this, and you'll also find around 100 photographs, high resolution from the Hasselblad that I snapped in Hanoi. So let's get started. Why emphasize even expats need vacations? It's quite simple. We've chosen a radically different path. Instead of a boring retirement working as a Walmart greeter, we've opted for adventure and independence. Our path as an expat is far more exciting than sitting in Missouri. However, this lifestyle presents some substantial challenges. And for those contemplating work overseas, consider these realities. Managing time zone differences for professional commitments and trying to separate work hours from leisure time, it becomes extremely difficult from the other side of the globe. When you're ready to head to the bar or restaurant for dinner, the other half of the world is just getting up and headed to work. Also, dealing with changing visa requirements presents a challenge unless you're actually employed and on a work visa from a major corporation. So if you're a digital nomad, a freelancer, or retired, visas are an important part of the equation. And for virtually everyone living overseas, there's also the balancing act of collecting personal property and trying to create a feeling of home with the knowledge that you can't stay where you are forever. Additionally, once the newness of the adventure wears off, you'll likely find yourself feeling a bit nostalgic. There's no doubt that you will occasionally grapple with homesickness and question your happiness abroad. So as invigorating as expat life can be, it can lead to fatigue and unhappiness over time. That's why expats need vacations too. So for those questioning the value of time off amid busy schedules, let's turn to the research. Vacations provide a critical reset for mind and body, especially for expats facing the ongoing stressors like culture shock, relocation demands, visa issues, etc., things that we've just briefly mentioned. Now, Expedia's 2023 Vacation Deprivation Report, what a mouthful, and it's a real thing, indicates that 63% of workers, particularly digital nomads, report lacking enough rest and time off to fully relax. Not only are digital nomads foregoing vacation, they have also mingled work and playtime to the point that they have virtually no time free of work. Nearly half of the expat workers forego earned vacation and even lose vacation days because they're not using them. Now, Expat Insider reveals 78% of those who engage in remote work allow work to morph into perpetual availability. So even though we're constructing meaningful lives abroad, our vulnerability to exhaustion is heightened because of those very facts. So again, without intentional breaks, the joy of expat life fades. If you've been living as an expat for more than a year or so, you already know what I'm talking about. It's not that the location doesn't live up to our expectations. We just have to understand that vacations are essential tools for sustained happiness. It doesn't matter where we're at, how beautiful the room is, we've got to get out of the room on occasion. Research in the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health shows that women vacationing twice yearly reduce depression risk by up to 30% and chronic stress by 50% compared to those that don't travel as frequently. Vacations have proven to create happiness through new experiences with post-trip mood elevations of 20 to 30%. It's not just mental, there's physiological benefits here, and they are substantial. In fact, the NIH followed 12,000 men over 9 years. That's a whole lot of people, right? 12,000 people. NIH followed 12,000 men over 9 years, and the study linked regular vacations to a 21% drop in overall mortality and a 32% drop in heart disease. Regular vacations reduce stress, lowers cortisol, enhances sleep, and sharpens our focus. A meta-analysis in applied psychology confirmed the effects like elevated mood and energy. They persist for around 6 weeks after returning home and resuming your normal routine. Now, this durability counters earlier notions of fleeting benefits and underscores the value of taking a break. Take a vacation, and the benefits are long-lasting. Travel amplifies rejuvenation and highlights how planning trips boost happiness via dopamine from anticipation alone. That means the benefits start well before the vacation, and then they last weeks after the vacation is over. But wait, there's more. Cultural immersion also fosters empathy, creativity, and resilience. A 2013 U.S. survey of 485 adults found that 80% reported heightened energy and focus after an international experience. Ultimately, these breaks transform us from weary travelers back into energetic people of value. Now, my recent Vietnam experience brought these things home for me. A few weeks ago, sensing burnout and increasing frustration over small things, I left for a 9-day excursion to Vietnam with my camera, my cell phone, an ATM card, and a credit card for backup. By the way, I'm one of the minority who maintain a T-Mobile account, as I can travel virtually worldwide with free data. This decision proved to be worth every dollar I've spent when, after almost 3 years of living overseas, my activity triggered a Charles Schwab fraud alert on my debit card while exploring Vietnam. If I'd been dependent on VoIP technology, I wouldn't have received the phone call from the fraud department, and my ATM card would have been turned off, leaving me without access to cash unless I could get to a bank and do some type of cash advance on my credit card. But besides that little snafu, everything else worked out fine. When I arrived in Hanoi, the chaos reminded me of the early 1980s in Long Apo. The streets were filled with vendors and hundreds of warm smiles, instantly making me feel welcome. Now, my original plan was to take a tour, travel out of Hanoi, see and photograph the terraced landscapes and the mist-shrouded hills like you see in so many YouTube videos. However, once there, I abandoned all of my plans as I found exploring the streets too exciting to stop. My goal was to enjoy myself, not adhere to a schedule or to-do list, and be stressed out by anything. And here's a tip for those that travel with a camera. Even though there was a language barrier, my camera was a great icebreaker, as almost everyone was happy to pose for a photograph. And even better was when I showed them the camera screen after taking the photo, without exception, it brought a smile to everyone's face. So thank you, Hasselblad, for making such an amazing rear display on that camera. Remember, you can visit the website to see the photos in better quality. Link is in the description. Now, while I was there, one of my favorite places to sit and relax was Train Street. And it's not a street by any stretch of the imagination. Both sides of the track are filled with small bars, coffee shops, and food joints where you sit at a table mere inches from the tracks. Indeed, if you stumble or get stupid here, it'll be your last time. I also visited a design center and an art gallery a few blocks from my hotel. Turns out both were owned by the same person, and I received a great tour and explanation of the art by the manager. The gallery and the design center were filled with treasures from ornate paintings with real gold, mother of pearl, eggshell, and other media, to an astounding number of finely finished sculptures and other items carved from, of all things, colored pencils. I found that to be absolutely fascinating. Now, my night walks were fantastic. I love the lights, I love the energy, I love the buzz at night. In fact, there's a lake in the French Quarter that's filled with vendors, people dancing, musicians playing, children running and laughing, you name it, you're going to see it there. I highly recommend you stroll around the lake and experience the streets at night if you visit Hanoi. From Friday night through the weekend, the road circling the lake is closed to vehicles, and in the mornings you'll find people walking, participating in group exercises, maybe even practicing martial arts. It's a great way to relax and get some great photos while you're there. Now, although I decided not to make any big trips away from Hanoi, I traveled to an ancient village called Dong Lam via Grab, and I strongly advise you not to take an electric car. The trip was more than an hour each way, and because of the traffic and the distance, both EV drivers They refrained from using the AC enough to keep the vehicle cool. When I got in, the seat was smoking hot, and they just didn't blow it like they should. Not only that, they drove 20 kilometers per hour below the speed limit to conserve battery range. You know, EVs may be great for some people commuting, but they just can't replace internal combustion engines. The technology's just not there. So let's talk about coffee and food. Two of my favorite things. I spent less than $10 a day eating and drinking coffee. A banh mi sandwich, which is like a New Orleans po' boy, and a bottle of water was $2.28, 60,000 VND, Vietnamese dong. And one thing that you won't find a lot of in Vietnam are the chain coffee shops. There's just too many Vietnamese coffee places, and this stuff is fantastic. Super high in calorie because they make it with sweetened condensed milk. But it was fabulous. And when I left Vietnam, let me tell you, my energy was restored and I was ready to get back to my daily routine. Now, what this trip proved to me was that although I had been living for almost 3 years in paradise, I still needed an escape from my daily routine. And routine is exactly what it becomes. The honeymoon's over and you're in a daily routine. I don't care where you are. So I won't wait so long the next time. So here are some tips to get the most out of your vacations. Opt for concise trips. 7 to 10 days, like my recent trip to Vietnam, is a perfect time. Remember, anticipation enhances the pre-trip well-being with effects lasting weeks after you return. So a 7 to 10 day vacation is actually much more therapeutic than it would seem. Number 2, commit to disconnection. Studies show that completely unplugging extends these benefits. Turn the phone off. Tip number 3, embrace immersion. Favor the local experiences over tourist sites for deeper fulfillment and big-time cost savings. I have no interest in hanging out in tourist places. You know, I can go to the mall for that. Tip number 4, if you don't want to go alone, connect with others. Join expat networks via platforms like InterNations, Facebook, etc. Tip number 5, prioritize your well-being by staying hydrated, eating appropriately, and incorporating movement. Also, don't spoil the trip by taking unnecessary risks with foods. Be careful what you eat, follow the rules, you know what they are, follow the safety guidelines. Don't get caught up by these stupid influencers and their jackassery. So let's sum all of this up. This is not self-indulgence. It's a personal investment. The facts prove that integrating vacations with our time abroad is crucial for long-term success as an expat. Now, if this resonated with you, please mash the subscribe button, like the video, please share the information with others. It's a big help to me. Also, check the website, take a peek at our merch section. The coffee mugs, I have to say, are quite awesome. Your support, as always, is greatly appreciated. And until next time, remember, better thinking does equal a better life. Joey out.